all your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Opening drive. Happy Tuesday. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and DC. How we living?
What it do?
You all right?
I
You had hoops last night, so I don't know how much of the football you got to watch, but many of us watched an entertaining 34-31 Bengals victory at Jacksonville, a victory that probably came out of nowhere. I think Jags, weren't they like a 9.5-point favorite or something silly like that?
they were.
Jake Browning, the former Washington Husky quarterback, playing for the injured Joe Burrow, went 32 for 37 last night. 354 yards. He threw for a touchdown, no interceptions, and scored a touchdown running. Trevor Lawrence got hurt. To me, the biggest story obviously is Trevor Lawrence getting hurt, and we'll get into that. But Jake Browning's 1A.
Of course, this is when you should control the game, but the NFL happened. And Jake Browning wowed us all, but you shouldn't be surprised because this league will give you moments like this. This is what we do all the time. Why you always, if you think something is a certain, slow yourself down and ask you why.
Yep.
Like you got to think like it can't be that simple. And what happened last night was just that Jake Browning was a confident guy. He has an elite wide receiver one. They fed him the football. Joe Mixon looked good. They protected Browning throughout that game. And he was a big-time playmaker against a Jacksonville team that I think that's why people just didn't quite buy all.
They're not ready to go over the top on it.
They're not ready to believe that, hey, this team could go to the playoffs again and win a game. And in the last year, things were so wild of them being down 27-0 to the Chargers and then coming back and winning that game for ultimately losing in Kansas City. But now the real determining factor is just how long will Trevor Lawrence be out moving forward.
All right, so let's hit on that because I know a lot of people went to bed and figured just by watching it, right? And it looked pretty gnarly, right? You have an offensive lineman get pushed into the ankle of your quarterback. It turns in a pretty bad way. Then he falls backwards on it, and then his reaction, throwing the helmet, that reaction usually means, damn, I'm injured, right? That's not, oh, this hurts. That's I'm out for a while. The initial diagnosis on Trevor Lawrence, ankle sprain, as per the NFL's media. Lawrence is set to undergo an MRI today. He was in the post-game locker room. Evidently, he was in good spirits, but he was on crutches for lower body support, and that's where we are right now. So they're calling it an ankle sprain, which sounds a hell of a lot better than a broken ankle, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Because I don't know what you thought when you saw it, but I thought, oh, damn, he's done.
It's, a high ankle sprain, it's going to be there the entire season if that happens. And you have to manage it as best you can in a couple-week window so you can get back on the field, because that's usually what these are high ankle sprains that are going to linger. It's what we still happened with Kenny Pickett. He actually got a surgical procedure done on his ankle to try to fix it in time to hopefully get back on the football field in 3 or 4 weeks. And now the Jaguars are going to be looking at the same thing with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Other side on the winners, man. This was a solid, gutsy win by the winners. The Bengals were, everybody's pick for a playoff spot. Whether you had them winning the AFC North or if you had them as a wild card, there's nobody who did not preseason have them as a playoff team, right?
Everyone did, yeah.
Then Joe Burrow went down. Then Joe Burrow goes down. So they're done. And pretty much consensus was they're done. Now they're outside looking in right now at 6-6. Can I make the argument that young man, if he plays like that, as cool, as calm, as efficient as he played, they can make the playoffs?
Of course, but that's not going to happen.
Okay. So you think that was a mirage we saw last night?
I wouldn't say it's a mirage. That's
Yeah.
unfair to him, but that's the reality of quarterback play in this.
Do you think
stuff.
it's about Josh
It's-
Dobbs kind of a thing?
Yes, like you're gonna have your games where you regress. There's a reason there's only there's a handful of quarterbacks that week in and week out look really good in this league.
I'm going to tell you, I think he can. And so I look at their schedule. Colts, good playoff team right now, beatable. Vikings, scuffling. Steelers, scuffling. Chiefs, certainly not invincible. And the Browns. I mean, it's not an easy path for Cincinnati. Here's why I think Jake Browning's a little different than Joshua Dobbs. Right? Joshua Dobbs has been in the league for, 8-9 years. And you always say there's a reason a guy didn't get a chance, right? I mean, like coaches see what you do in practice every day. This guy's been in the league a couple years playing behind Joe Burrow. The reason he hasn't gotten more of a chance is because he's been playing behind Joe Burrow. And they seem to think that they had a chance. They were very confident when they put Jake Browning in. There's a reason he earned the number 2 job on a team that felt that they were contending for a Super Bowl. And so, well, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's Joe Burrow. And that's what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you that there's a chance that this guy is an efficient NFL quarterback for the rest of the season. And efficient NFL quarterbacking on a good team may be enough to get you the playoffs.
Yeah, you are right. But we've had the same conversation with Josh Dobbs, with Will Levis. You name it after one good game.
Yeah. And I'm still
this
kind of in
league-
on Will Levis.
Yeah, you can be in on it, and he's lost a bunch of games since he threw 4 touchdown passes
A lot.
to the Atlanta Falcons. But that's just this league. They'll on you quickly. And so you have to be able to respond. And I think the one thing that's been frustrating for Cincinnati is they haven't looked that good offensively.
Until last night.
And then so can you spark that? Because there's enough there, to your point. You get efficient quarterback play. Cincinnati's right there in the mix with teams that have giant question marks. They are the same thing as Indianapolis and Pittsburgh now.
All of them.
And all of these teams just fighting for a wild card spot.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the NFC or the AFC standings, and you've got a bunch of 7-5 teams right now in the wild card spot, and that would be Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Indy and Houston. But right behind them, you got a bunch of 6-6s. Well, I mean, you got 2 6-6s.
And
you got Cincinnati and Denver.
The potential going into this weekend, that's
Buffalo,
Jaguars, backup quarterback. Steelers, backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Browns could be even QB3 at this point in time. Colts have been playing with Gardner Minshew all season, so it's he's their starter, but still that's another backup quarterback. And so 4 of the 7 teams currently in playoff spots could be starting a backup quarterback next week.
9 of the teams in the AFC, 9 of the 16 will start a quarterback this weekend who did not start opening day. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers played 4 plays. The Patriots, the Steelers, the Browns, the Bengals, the Colts, the Titans, and the Raiders. 9 of the 16 teams in the AFC will start a quarterback who did not start opening day. NFC, Giants will. Vikings will. Falcons, right? I mean, who the hell is the Falcons quarterback today? Is it Desmond Ritter? Or is it who is it?
Well, it was Desmond Ritter over the weekend.
What do you think next week? I mean, I just don't know. Only 3 because Arizona didn't start Kyler Murray. So only 3, I think, in the NFC, right? Just the Giants, the Vikings, and the Cardinals. Am I missing something there? Everybody else kind of has their starting quarterback back, don't they? Now they've gone through a
Jameis
few.
Winston probably going to start.
Is Jameis Winston going to start for this?
We
Saints?
have Derek Carr's second concussion in the past month. Like,
Okay. All right.
At some point, it's like Tua last year. You're
I
like,
know.
can you just
I know.
maybe not play for a
Let's
little
shut
while?
this
there?
down. I'm down. Okay, so 4. So that's 20. What did I tell you? 9. So that's 13 of the 32. It's not quite half anymore, but it was for a minute. Yeah.
And some of these are QB3.
The Giants
Even
situation
QB4.
is, yeah. The Browns situation is, yeah. Browns have started 4 different quarterbacks in a season. It's insane. All right, we're here for you today. 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us today. Area code 505-246-0610. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We are on the Twitter, or at least JJ is, the X _JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, the OD and the AM. You can watch the show there. You can watch it on Comcast Channel 26. or on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. 8:10 this morning, we're going to give away tickets to Lobo women's basketball against Boise State, but that will also enter you into the drawing to win a mystery box from All In Autographs, and it will enter you into the drawings for the Saturday show out at All In Autographs, where they're giving away $50, $100, and $250 gift cards. So we're going to do that at 8:10 this morning. We'll give those away.
On the other side,
Yes.
we're talking about QB 2, 3, 4. Do you know exactly how many different quarterbacks have started an NFL game this season?
Will you tell me when we come back?
Like, what would your guess be? If we're talking already, 32 teams.
My guess would be 61.
Okay.
It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal, you're home for Sunday. 57. You're home for Sunday night, and Monday night, and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Edward just sent me a text. Edward says if C.J. Beathard starts for Jacksonville next week, likely it'll be number 53 quarterback starting this year. So is the answer 52?
52 people have officially started an NFL game.
So 57 was a decent random tug out of my lower crevice guess. No. What do you think the number was last year, complete season? How many different quarterbacks started in the NFL last year? Without looking it up.
Oh, without looking it up?
Yeah. How many do you think? I know the answer. So how many do you think? If you're at 50, what are you at 52 right now with 5 weeks left?
47.
47?
See, I was thinking like 41 or 42.
Last year, 2022, a record 64 different starting quarterbacks started games in the National Football League last year.
So an average of 2 per team across the league.
I mean, if there's 32 teams, and the average would be 2 per team.
That's an amazing number.
And I'm going to throw names at you. You're going to go, what? Trevor Siemian and Justin Fields for the Bears. Now, a few teams had 1. That means a few teams had 4. Right? Joe Burrow started them all for the Bengals. Josh Allen started them all for the Bills. Russell Wilson and Brett Rippon for the Broncos. Browns, Jacoby Brissett started the first 11, then Deshaun Watson. Tom Brady started them all for the Buccaneers last year. Can you name me the 4 Cardinals who started a quarterback last year?
I actually got it at 68 last season.
Do you have I'm looking at a CBS NFL report says 64, but I'll go with 68 if that's your number. But can you name me the 4 quarterbacks who started for the Cardinals last year?
I know Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that's 2.
Oh, goodness. No, I got 2 out of 4.
Trace McSorley and David Blau.
Wow.
Justin Herbert.
Hey, JJ, where did Trace McSorley go to college?
Penn State, right?
I have no idea. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Penn State quarterback.
Okay.
Nice.
No, you ask him, but not me. What, like I wouldn't know?
He's the
he is.
He's
No,
the machine
he
when
is
it comes
the
to where they
machine
go
on
to
that.
college.
He is the machine on that. Justin Herbert, all of them for the Chargers. Mahomes, all of them for the Chiefs. Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger, and Nick Foles for the Colts. Tyler Heineke and Carson Wentz for the Commandos. That was Cooper Rush's year where he started 5 of them. Mm-hmm. Dolphins, Tua, Teddy Bridgewater, and Skylar Thompson. Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Gardner Minshew started 2 games there. He should get a State Farm commercial, by the way. So it was whoever said it was on one of the networks or something. Falcons, Marcus Mariota, 13 of them, and then Desmond Ridder. Niners, Garoppolo, Purdy, and Trey Lance. How about this? Giants, Daniel Jones started all of them.
Well, he got paid.
Yep. Trevor Lawrence started them all.
Trevor Lawrence is actually, this would be the first time he's missed a game.
Yeah, I think that's right.
If he sits out.
And it looks like he will. Jets, Zach Wilson, Mike White, Joe Flacco. Lions, Jared Goff started them all. Aaron Rodgers them all for the Packers. Panthers, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker. Pretty much split, 6-5 and 5. Patriots look like they do this year. Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. They didn't learn. Derek Carr and Jared Stidham for the Raiders. Rams at 4. Can you name the 4 for the Rams?
I know two of them because I saw them on the list.
You know, well, two of them are. Go ahead.
It was Stafford.
Yeah.
Bryce Perkins.
See, Bryce Perkins is the one that. I mean,
John Wolford.
Where'd Bryce Perkins go to school?
Virginia.
Duh.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
All right, so Stafford, Bryce Perkins, Wolford, and come on now. This one, I thought this was the one you'd get for sure because this was the highest profile. He showed up on a Wednesday and started on Thursday and beat the Raiders. Yeah, Baker. Yeah. John Wolford and Bryce Perkins. I mean, those were the easy ones for him, for crying out loud. Ravens went with two, Lamar and Tyler Huntley, Andy Dalton and Jameis for the Saints. Geno started them off for the Seahawks, Kenny Pickens and Trubisky for the Steelers. Texans, can you name me the three guys who started for the Texans last year?
Your boy David Mills.
Davis Mills, my guy.
Davis Mills.
Yeah. This was just a year ago. Right?
Life before CJ Stroud seemed like
seriously,
so long ago.
how quickly we
Feels like
forget.
forever ago.
You guys are all sitting in your car scratching your head. They're Texans last year. They had three starting quarterbacks. Davis Mills started 14 games. The other two guys started 2 apiece. And if you know where they both went to school, that's going to be anyway. You want me to just give them to you?
Yeah.
Kyle Allen and Jeff Driscoll. Where'd they go to school?
And Driscoll, gosh, I'm thinking I want to say Louisiana Tech.
I don't know, man.
Jeff Driscoll.
I don't know. And then the Titans had 3. All right, I'm going to give you 2. If you can give me the third, this would be beautiful. Titans started Ryan Tannehill for 12, Malik Willis for 3. Do you know who their third starting quarterback was last year? It's so good. This year's darling.
Oh, this year's darling.
Yes.
Josh Dobbs?
Joshua Dobbs started a game for the Titans. Do you remember that? Because I sure as hell do not.
No, I don't. I don't remember that one.
And then Kirk Cousins started them all for the Vikings last year. 64 different dudes played quarterback. And I just ran a bunch of names at you, and you're just going, why are we doing? And that is why sometimes. But I'm going to tell you last night, C.J. Beathard didn't look horrible in the little bit he played.
He's one of those veteran backups.
Look, and if you give him did you hear Jake Browning after the game? The quarterback who won for the Bengals? And Lisa Salters on ABC, ESPN, asked him, why did you look so calm? Troy and Joe Buck were commenting on how calm you looked and how'd you play so well. It was 32 for 37. And he said, because I had a week to prepare. And you talk about this all the time. A guy that just comes in cold, drops his clipboard, takes off his baseball cap, and goes in and has to try to run an NFL offense. I don't care how many reps he got, and he didn't get a lot during the week. He's not going to look like a guy who was prepping to be the number one guy all week. And so if the guy's good, if the guy's a talented quarterback, there should be a big difference between coming out of the bullpen and starting the next week. Now, it doesn't happen with Zach Wilson. It doesn't happen with, with some of these guys, which, by the way, Zach Wilson might be your quarterback for the Jets this week.
If he wants to be.
What the hell? I mean, what since we're on the quarterback thing, let's just stay on the quarterback thing. So Zach Wilson kind of may not want to play? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, there was a report by The Athletic that Zach Wilson might be reluctant to play, which I have no idea what that means. And if you're Robert Saleh, and again, you have a press conference or you're out there having to awkwardly spin and or defend something with Zach Wilson, there's a reason you already benched this dude. And now you're trying to come back to him, and now you're trying to clean up another mess, which is just so wild. Like, is Zach Wilson's confidence shot? Okay, well, then that means that who wants him on an NFL roster after this?
All right. So they've lost 5 in a row. And they're trying to stay relevant because they think somehow Aaron Rodgers is going to swoop in on a magic carpet and save this thing and pull it out of the fire. And they're gonna win the last however many games he plays, which, by the way, they're not. I'm just with all due respect to Aaron Rodgers, he's not coming in and making his team win and others lose, right? But they've gone through Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle, and Boyle was replaced by Trevor Siemian on Sunday against the Falcons. Now the Jets are considering another quarterback change because there's some bad offenses in this league. And they're one of them. And they're leaning, evidently, according to The Athletic, on going back to Zach Wilson. And The Athletic is reporting that this guy, the number 2 overall pick a couple of years ago, is reluctant to go back in. Diana Rossini, who's really good, reported that Aaron Rodgers has reached out to Zach Wilson, trying to advise him with his potential return to the lineup, but Wilson remained apprehensive due to injury risk. Dude, you play professional tackle football. There is an injury risk every time you walk on the field. Ask Aaron Rodgers or Trevor Wilson, or, go down the list.
Or Zach Wilson when he fell down walking on the field.
What are we doing? Now, Robert Saleh is the head coach of the Jets, and he told reporters yesterday that he had not decided on a starting quarterback, but that, quote, Zach Wilson, he said, quote, wants the ball. Continue, quote, let's be clear. If he was reluctant to play, guys, he wouldn't be here, all right? I actually, coincidentally, just got done speaking with him. He came in about a half hour ago, and we had a really good conversation. The young man wants the ball. He wants to start. He believes he's the best quarterback in the room and the best quarterback for this team and the guy who gives us the best chance to win. And I'll tell you guys the same thing I told him. I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that he wants to play. I'm just not there yet, end quote. Who do I believe? Because to your point, man, this head coach has been out and having to defend this young man since they both arrived, right? What am I supposed to believe at this point? I guess I got to believe the coach who's telling me this until I hear from someone directly that Zach Wilson said he didn't want to play.
Yeah.
That, Zach or one of the teammates comes out and said, no, man, just said he didn't want to play. But if there's a doubt, if you're going to send a guy out on the field in a professional tackle football game with grown-ass men trying to hurt him, who's got a little bit of trepidation in his mind, who's got a little bit of fear, who, if there's a thought, well, I don't know if I want to get hurt, he can't play.
No, he cannot lead an offense.
He was benched for the second time after that loss to the Bills in Week 11. He said that he understood his benching. He said he doesn't think he was scapegoated. He said he understood it. He there's a part of me that as I listen to this report, do you think Zach Wilson just kind of, in his own mind, just relegated himself to the fact that I'm done here? Like, I'm going to have to go find another place and get a new start next year. Like, I'm done. Aaron's here. I tried. It didn't work. And I've got to hopefully latch on with the Niners as a backup quarterback.
And this is where, when you get to this level of sport, we're talking professional sports.
Yeah.
NBA, NHL, NFL, like, you got to put your feelings away. Like, because things like this are going to happen. Like, they could come right back to you. After they tell you they hate you and you're not good enough, your opportunity could come right back around. And if you're in your feelings and, well, you didn't want me then, so why should you have me now type of stuff, you are not going to make it.
They got a problem, man. And look, they've known they've had a problem.
You have to have the Geno Smith attitude. And I go back to that time when he was like, they kept writing me off, and I didn't write back. Like, you have to have that mindset. Because, people are going to say, oh, you suck and you're terrible, this, that. No, you are still in the NFL. And that means at any point in time, your opportunity could come back around. And if you can't handle that, then you're not going to keep getting third, fourth, fifth chances because you ain't that guy.
Do you got another Geno Smith story? Like, is there another dude that lingered for that long, high draft pick, was written off, didn't write back, came back, became a starting quarterback of a playoff team? I'm not sure I know one. Right? Joshua Dobbs, if they get to the playoffs, would be the guy. Right?
Guys, it's hanging around. And Zach Wilson could have been one of those guys because
I imagine they still could.
They find a way to give top 5 picks opportunities.
Over and over.
Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Over and over and over. If you're a top Mitchell Trubisky.
Carson Wentz.
Mitchell Trubisky.
Guys.
Carson Wentz is on roster right now, right? He's on the Rams.
Yes. Like, guys are going to be brought in. They're going to go through that
Marcus
cycle.
Mariota.
But if you can't handle it, you're not even going to get a chance to be one of those guys.
Because those guys are, look, and you can say, wow, what crappy careers they have. I'm going to guess by the time a Marcus Mariota or a Mitchell Trubisky or one of these guys with a top pick are done, I'm going to guess they make $75, $85 million in their crappy NFL career, as people want to say it, and they will move on with the rest of their life quite handsomely. 505-246-0610 when we come back. The second best rookie in the league this year on the offensive side could be out, and he's probably on your fantasy team or maybe the one you're playing against this week. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Rosendo Najar here, President of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, Warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentering trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
You ready, Spout? You ready?
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. You're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife. And our daughter. They didn't make it.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet. So you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hey, Dad, I'm gonna go out.
National Football League. You had the Bengals last night, 34-31. Jake Browning was your guy. Jake Browning was your guy last night in the National Football League. Going bonkers, the backup quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, in for Joe Burrow for the rest of the season, hopefully for the rest of the season as far as they're concerned. I hate saying that. We're just talking about injuries and 64 quarterbacks starting last year. Do I know he's in for the rest of the season? No, I don't. 32 of 37. 354 and a touchdown. Tyler Boyd threw an interception. What the hell are we doing? Sometimes we get so cute and we just get over our skis. Big night for Jamar Chase, 149 yards. Joe Mixon played well. He had 6 receptions on my bench last night. Scored 2 touchdowns. And Joe Mixon. So let me ask you this, Mr. Super Fantasy Football Guru DC. Joe Mixon a viable option? Like, give me 2 of the 3 down the stretch. PPR league, Joe Mixon, Kyron Williams, and Alvin Kamara.
Kamara and Mixon.
You like him better than Kyron Williams, huh?
I do.
I don't.
I do.
But that's why you win and I lose. What do you like?
Oh, I think Kamara's locked in, and then you play the matchups.
Okay.
Realistically, that actually is the right answer. You do have to play the matchups, especially this time of year.
All right. Bengals next week will play the Colts at home. The Rams next week will play, and this is an essential. I got to win to get in. Rams, at the Ravens.
We go Mixon.
Yeah, that sounds like a Mixon game.
All right. Speaking of the Rams, second best rookie. Would you say this? I mean,
I think that's really
rookie
fair.
of the year is going to be C.J. Stroud, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a quarterback. Quarterbacks win these awards, and C.J. Stroud's been spectacular. But the second best offensive rookie has been a guy out of BYU named Puka Nacua, right? Puka Nacua injured shoulder, AC sprain is what they're calling it. They beat the Browns to the Rams. Expected to play against the Ravens, according to Sean McVay, the head coach. Quote, we might be smart with him early on in the week, but don't expect it to affect his ability to be ready to go. All he did with that injury was catch 4 passes for 105 yards and a touchdown, ran for 34 and 2 carries. He has 77 receptions. It's a franchise rookie record, 1,029 yards and 4 touchdowns. You never know where they're coming from, right?
You don't. Have a 1,000-yard season.
As a rookie.
As a rookie.
What was he, a 5th-round pick?
As a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. They always say if you can play, they will find you, right? This young man played at BYU last year. BYU in the was that a New Mexico Bowl last year? They were, right? He played at BYU last year. 5th-round pick, whatever, and he's going there. And I remember the buzz during camp. Remember when we were talking about fantasy football stuff? Who should you pick? Give me a sleeper and everybody. And I told you, remember, who was it? Hot Take Doug was in here.
You were on it.
Andrew Whitworth, the former Rams offensive lineman, was doing something on NFL Network. I don't know why. You know what? Probably was a Rams game. I stumbled across something. Like, what are you watching preseason football for?
I remember that well. It was a Monday.
And he had his
that day,
hoodie
too.
on. He had the J.J. Buck look with the hoodie and the sports coat. And he said, man, I'm just telling you, I was out there and I'm watching this kid Puka Nacua. And, you know, with Cup hurt and him and Stafford have something. And yeah, he was the guy. Whitworth was right. And people say stuff all the time. I mean, Dorian Thompson-Robinson was a freaking all-pro in preseason football, wasn't he?
Yeah, Puka Nacua started his career at Washington.
Where's he from? Does it say? Like, I know he ended up BYU, but, I mean, did he grow up in the Pacific Northwest? I'm just telling you, he's a ball player. Anyway, injury-wise, keep an eye on him. All right, give me 3 out of the 4 then for next week. Calvin Ridley with C.J. Beathard, probably. Nico Collins, Puka Nacua, or Sam Laporta? I benched Laporta this week. Bad.
Yeah, I'm wondering why you did that.
Well, because I had the other three. Who are you benching? Nacua, Nico, or in retrospect, Ridley, but
Probably sitting Ridley.
because of the quarterback situation, right? I think that's the answer. All right. 505-246-0610. You're coming in this morning. 888-922-0610. Your emails are in this morning at Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. All right. Text line says, we were talking about Zach Wilson, the Jets quarterback, who, according to The Athletic, is reluctant to play. Text line says, if you're Zach Wilson, why would you come back? Other than showing other teams that you can still play the position after the Jets organization gave up on you, why would you come off the bench for them? I don't know, because you're paid to play quarterback?
Athlete, and you're going to get benched in support. And again, if you have hurt feelings, you're never going to make it in the NFL, any professional league.
I mean, you don't have to be happy about being benched, but they're still paying you to play quarterback, aren't they? They're still paying you to play when they say, hey, number 2, you're up. You're still getting paid handsomely to go play quarterback, aren't you?
Because if I'm an NFL franchise next season, and you're going to be giving guys chances, second, third, fourth chances, because we're already talking about what last year was 68 players started at quarterback in the NFL, 52 this season. So you're going to need these guys. If I'm sitting there at front office, and Zach Wilson comes up on my list, I'm like, dude, I didn't even want to get back on the football field, and then I want to bring him in to my organization. That's a real problem. Yeah. You're going to sit there and have hurt feelings in professional sports.
Yeah, I mean, why would he play? I don't know, because he's a pro quarterback and he's got a job, and that's how it works. Why would Josh Dobbs play? And by the way, part of it is, to show other teams that he can play, that he can get a chance. Because if it comes down to who am I signing in the offseason, that guy or that guy, and one guy just said, and quit on his team because he got benched and got his feelings hurt, why the hell am I picking him? Why am I giving him a job? When I need him in November of next year or December of next year, he's going to quit on me too? I mean, it's a pretty easy answer. Pretty easy. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. When we come back, Steelers, what the heck happened there? And now Kenny Pickett's down. Their quarterback is... It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
This report is sponsored by Ritz.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. You're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. The drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. So Kenny Pickett went down. The quarterbacks are dropping like flies.
Yeah, when I heard about Pickett getting surgery yesterday, I had that same thought. Like, this just doesn't end. Every quarterback is getting banged up.
Yeah, I don't know that there's something you can do about it. It's professional tackle football again.
Well, and you're right, and it kind of reminds me of what we talked about last week. Like, how important is that backup position? Is it the most important or second most important position on the team?
So it's important, and it's really, think how hard it is to get your starting quarterback right. It's going to be harder to get your backup quarterback right. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, if you go around and say how many good starting quarterbacks are there in the league, and you know, we vary between this number of, I don't know, 12 and 20, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody says, well, how is that their backup quarterback? Because it's really hard to find another guy. Because if your backup guy was that good, he'd be somebody else's first guy. So, but you're right. Your point is so right. How important is the backup quarterback? But how hard is it to find a guy that when you got 32 teams trying to find the one, and we sit around and say, okay, maybe there's 20 of them, and you're supposed to have 2 of them? That's why it's so hard.
That's also why you see these guys that have been there, done that, where people think
100%.
Like you're saying, like, oh, this is a bad quarterback. No, but they actually just trust this dude because it's the Teddy Bridgewaters, Marcus Mariota, like guys that have been in the league versus
Joe Flacco.
Well, versus going through like, are you ready to give Dorian Thompson-Robinson the keys and go through that? Sometimes you got to.
And sometimes it might work, right? I mean, if Jake Browning's an indication, and I know you're not ready, nor am I on a one-game sample size, but Jake Browning looked like an NFL quarterback last night.
He sure did. He did.
Like Jake Browning looked more like an NFL quarterback last night in his first start than whatever Atlanta's throwing out there every week.
You have a very good point.
Than whatever the Jets are throwing out there every week. Than what the Saints may throw out next week, a veteran former number 1 pick. Oh, there's another one of your guys that keeps getting a shot. Right? Than what the Giants are throwing out there every week. Didn't he? But now, 1 week sample size. I understand that.
1-2 in a row, baby. Tommy DeVito.
That's why it's so damn hard, dude.
It is. And it's funny because now they're 6-6, and it does not feel like they're totally out.
Because that quarterback looked good yesterday. Right. Now, next week, when they play who they play next week, whatever they play, if he comes out and we got tape on him and
Play the Colts.
and he doesn't look good, then you're going to say, like, who do you like next week? All right, that's a great matchup. Pick them. Go straight. I don't even care what the spread is. I don't even know where the game is.
In Cincinnati.
You like Jake Browning and the Bengals. You like Gardner. It's one of Berman's best. Minshew. You like Gardner Minshew and the Colts.
I lean towards Gardner because he's been playing all year, and it kind of goes to the recency bias. We saw one good game, but we've seen one good game from a lot of guys, so that isn't
totally fair. Dude looked like a damn veteran yesterday.
He did, though. He did. He carried himself well. He impressed.
I mean, he looked like he threw the ball away when he needed to, threw it into the ground, threw it over heads, threw the ball right on target. Who do you like? Straight up, Gardner Minshew and the Colts going, and this is a big game for the playoffs right now because the Colts are in a spot and they're one game ahead of Cincinnati. Who do you like? Straight up.
Right now, I'd go Colts.
I'm going to go the other way. I see why you guys are going Colts, and I love what they're doing. I do. I love what they're doing, and I don't know how the hell. First of all, they didn't run the ball last week, but
so they were down 17-7
and he
in that game at Tennessee. And well, it's special teams play. They blocked 2 punts. One of them they returned for a touchdown,
and they've done that a number of times.
But they got the Titans special teams coordinator fired yesterday. That happens, and it's what you're talking about is the Colts have been a team that they've embraced it, and Cincinnati's hoping to become that team of rallying around the backup quarterback, seeing what you are. And it is a different world when you know that's who you are. Like Joe Burrow's not coming back.
That's right.
So you have to adjust your mindset. Jake Browning was fantastic. And as a backup quarterback, you need those guys too, because one of the things that Browning was talking about is he was, even if you're not getting the reps, he's the one that's doing extra film. He's talking to the other players, understanding routes, understanding what they want, what they like, and those are the things that you have to do to be successful.
And let me give you this story first, because I want you to hold that thought. And I know I went into the break talking to who's the quarterback for the Steelers, and Kenny Pickett underwent ankle surgery to what they say accelerate the healing process on his right ankle. But Mike Tomlin, their coach, says he's not done for the season. They come out of the OR with information, blah blah blah. But Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the guy this weekend. And it's not even this weekend. They play Thursday. They play the Patriots. How about that game? Mitchell Trubisky against Zappy Bailey or Bailey Zappy or Mackey Jonesy or Jonesy Mackey or, I mean.
Whatever it is, take the under.
Please? It's going to be 12.5. I mean, honestly.
So there's 2 backups starting that one. There's 2 backups starting Bengals Colts.
Yeah.
How many games have 2 backups starting?
Probably a bunch.
What a crazy league.
Yeah, no, it is bonkers. I mean, I don't know. Well, that's this week. But I want to go back to your point on this, because we're watching how many teams that may get into the playoffs with a backup quarterback, right? Cincinnati might, Indianapolis might, Cleveland might. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Jacksonville now. We'll see what happens. If you're a Jets fan, are you losing your mind? Even more watching this?
You know who's losing their mind, too?
Huh?
Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. If you're the Buffalo Bills, Los Angeles Chargers, like, how the heck are we 6-6 and 5-7 in this league?
A chunk of it's on you, too, now. A chunk of it's on you. Like, and especially Justin Herbert, with those offensive weapons. Could we, at some point, call a spade with them?
No.
I think he's really good, and he has not performed up to what we expected. Can we
only
just say
one offensive weapon?
Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, they're not weapons?
No, Eckler's not that dude.
He's not?
No, he's whatever happened early in the season, like.
Well, I'm going to go back to what he told me early in the season.
He can't run away from
when he didn't get paid. Yeah. I'm really. Do you see? Remember, and will you remind people that this? Whenever I watch him, what you said early in the season when we were having all the conversations about running backs not getting paid, and it just sticks in my mind. I want to go back. Will you remind people what you said? Because I know you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, this would have been probably 3 weeks before the season. There was this text chain that basically included a lot of the top running backs, and the suggestion was, and it was started by Eckler, is what we've been able to find out since then. But the suggestion was that you could kind of
shake it.
Yes, with a hamstring. So if the situation was not favorable, that was an option that seemed to be explored by some of these guys. And the fact that he started it and he's the one with all these injuries, I have the same exact thing. Every time I hear his name, I think about that.
I can't not think about it.
I know.
But he's playing.
He is playing. He
Like-
sat out the first, 3 or 4? Something like
So,
that.
but he looks like a dude that's legitimately
All right.
just slow.
All right, so you say Justin Herbert, this isn't on him at all.
But Justin Herbert is Matthew Stafford 2.0. Like, you're going to convince yourself this
That's
dude
good.
is
No, that's
overrated.
actually really
This
good.
dude's
No.
not that good.
I don't
No,
think
he
he's
is.
overrated. I think he's having a subpar year.
The Chargers are no different than the Detroit Lions.
I think that's a great analogy. Actually,
Like,
I've never
he'll
thought
get
of that. and I
somewhere
think
else
it's
and they'll
great.
be like, oh man.
No, I think that is a
Look at this
great
guy.
analogy.
Like if Sean McVay was coaching Justin Herbert, like,
All right, I want to get into that more, and you know we can get into the Chargers and why they're the Chargers and why, but I'm gonna argue with you a little bit on weapons. Although the guys keep going down, Palmer's down, and Williams is down, and guys are down, but he's got to eat a little bit of it. He's got to eat a little bit of it because they scored how many points last week? Oh, the weather was bad. They played 6.
They won.
They did win. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host. Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Award-winning radio in your ear on a Tuesday morning. Welcome to it. Bengals beat the Jaguars in overtime last night, 34-31 on Monday Night Football. You listened to it. Well, maybe you didn't last night. But normally you listen to it right here on The Sports Animal. Last night you had Lobo women's basketball. JJ, how did you do last night?
Winner, chicken parm dinner.
Oh, chicken parm's always good, isn't it?
It is very good.
Ladies beat Mississippi Valley State last night in the pit, 68-45. Yeah. Nice.
Well, it's just you're ready for the next curveball. And this team is just finding a way right now. Vienna Cumber out day to day. Don't know how long she's going to be out of the lineup. So that's
a problem.
Huge.
Yeah.
She got hurt, did not play in the second half against Mexico State. Now Ogman was struggling, only played 22 minutes. Didn't play in the second half last night. So it was, Mississippi Valley State was one of those opponents. You're like, it's good to finally have a team in town that there should be no doubt in this game. But then all you get is Southern Utah coming in, the team that won the WAC regular season and tournament title last year.
Oh, but they're only Southern Utah. I never heard of them. They can't be any good.
Returns a bunch of all-conference players in the pit on Thursday night.
All right, 505-246-0610. So the texter who asked if you're Zach Wilson, we've been talking a lot of NFL today. Why would you come back? Other than showing other teams you can still play the position after the Jets organization gave up on you, why would you come off the bench for them? The answer is you're a professional quarterback and you're paid to play quarterback, and if you get your feelings hurt, what do you do in the NFL? And the same texter responded to that. JJ says, how is it that James Harden can find job after job, quitting on multiple teams, but a quarterback who says no in the NFL would be blacklisted? Well, James Harden's performed at a pretty good level, and teams go, well, I'll take a chance. We'll be able to fix that. I can deal with his attitude because he's really good. Zach Wilson has done what? I mean, you haven't done.
James Harden has scored 50 points in the postseason, and we know his attitude, but he's performed. He has players on his side. Like when they brought the Nets together, like Kevin Durant was in his corner, and it's a lot different when you have a talented basketball player bouncing around the NBA versus a backup quarterback
who's done nothing in the NFL. I mean, with all due respect, point to me his good game. So, I mean, with all due respect.
And also the fact James Harden had Daryl Morey on his side forever.
Yeah, but
and so that was in Houston.
Sure as hell doesn't
that was
count.
in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So that you can see why James Harden gets these opportunities when, yes, he's right. He's quit on teams, and he's a dude that you don't want to have around, man. You don't. But there's something there. Why did the Clippers want him? Why did they sign off on that? People ain't going to do that with Zach Wilson because there's nothing to latch on to.
There's nothing there. Tony, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. Hi, Tony. Let me do that again. Hello, Tony.
Oh, there we are.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know about the whole comparing Justin Herbert to Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford put up big numbers almost every year. Herbert's putting up good numbers, but are they Stafford-like numbers?
I would think so, but I'll go back and look at them. I mean, aren't they?
You know?
Maybe not this year, but certainly in the last two.
I'm going to put Herbert in that Phillip Rivers category. Easy, just like Phillip Rivers.
I don't hate that either.
Right? I mean, well, okay. Whose career would you have rather had, Matt Stafford's or Phillip Rivers?
Well, Stafford because he won a championship
before the Super Bowl.
Before the Super Bowl, I'd have rather had Rivers.
Rivers?
Before
getting to the playoffs.
Yeah. Before the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Okay, but how many playoff wins did Phillip Rivers have? They hardly ever advanced. They were one and done all the time.
Yeah, but they got there. What did the Lions ever do?
True that. I don't know. I Matt Stafford's career was, before the Super Bowl, he put up insane numbers all the time. He led the league in passing a couple of seasons, didn't he?
I'm looking for it. I don't want to overvalue it, but they both put up.
I don't know.
Numbers.
I put Justin Herbert not in that Matt Stafford category. He's more of that Phillip Rivers category because again he hasn't won any. He hasn't. How many times have? Okay, first of all, I'm sorry. How many years has Justin Herbert been in the league? 4, 5?
Four.
Already?
I think. Yeah, 4. And I'm going to tell you, I think Stafford and Rivers are very similar, career-wise. You don't think so? You think Rivers is way better than Stafford? I mean, aside from the Super Bowl, now, again, I'll take the career that got me a ring, but I mean, I look at them in my mind without staring at stats, and we can look at the stats, we'll pull them up, but in my mind, Stafford and Rivers are very similar to me.
You know that, okay, and that could very well be true, but whenever there was talk about top quarterbacks, Phillip Rivers was never really mentioned as much as Stafford.
Herbert, all he did was set records for the last couple of years.
No, Phillip Rivers.
All right, here you go. So Rivers played as of now in 42 more games than Stafford has. Their completion percentage, Stafford 63.1 to Rivers 64.9, so Rivers was better. Passing yards is skewed, touchdowns to interceptions. Stafford 349 to 178, Rivers 421 to 209. It's pretty similar. I mean, they're very much the same guy.
Wow.
Interception percentage 2.4 to 2.6. They're kind of the same guy. Passing per game 271 to 260.
When they would talk about top quarterbacks and all that, Matt Stafford was always mentioned, before Phillip Rivers.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know. It's just like Matt Stafford got more attention than Phillip Rivers. But it can't be like the media market because Detroit, San Diego.
Yeah.
You would have thought San Diego quicker,
Yeah. I mean, they're comparable, man. They're
I
really
would have taken
comparable.
Matt Stafford, but I put Justin Herbert in that Phillip Rivers category.
That's fair. No, that's a good conversation. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you. Better career. I mean, the answer is...
Well, he's saying that after he just saw Matthew Stafford win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford won 0 playoff games at Detroit. Phillip Rivers was 5-7. He beat Peyton Manning on a torn ACL in the playoffs. I mean, Phillip Rivers is a stud.
Like, Tony's making that argument.
But they're really close.
He's trying to say, before the Rams. He's not. Like, that's on our minds, what he did in Los Angeles. And by the way, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Like, and this is where, is he invincible? No. But the dude, he has a rookie record for passing touchdowns, rookie record for most 300-yard games. What he did is, in his 57th career game, he passed Patrick Mahomes and Matthew Stafford for career completions over that time frame.
In that span.
Fastest to get there. It's like he's set tremendous records. Like, he's passing all these players.
Yep.
And that's where I'm getting at. And you look at, too, Justin Herbert, it passed Dan Marino and Peyton Manning for the second most yards in the first 4 NFL seasons. Like, he's doing it.
Here's the answer. All right, I'm Rivers and Stafford. I mean, you guys both think Rivers was a better quarterback, right? Overall. But Stafford won a ring. I'm going to tell you, I think they're very similar. And as I look at the numbers, they're very similar. Like, they're very similar. Rivers played in 42 more games, which is basically, 3 more seasons, all right?
Who was Rivers passing it to, though? It wasn't Calvin
Antonio
Johnson.
Gates.
Yeah, not Calvin Johnson, though, right? One of the best receivers
No, but one of the best tight ends ever.
I mean,
LaDainian Tomlinson.
I mean, it's not like he was weaponless, too, now.
I'm not saying weaponless, but
no,
Antonio Gates and Calvin Johnson are two very different weapons.
Agree. You know what this all tells me? Next year's really freaking big for Justin Herbert because next year's going to have a different head coach. I mean, can we agree on that? They better, right?
And I have zero concern. Like, get him Sean McVay, get him Mike McDaniel, and see what happens.
And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to bring in some offensive whiz to figure that out.
As they should, because the numbers, he's done everything.
I think
and now
it's good.
You got to have the postseason success.
So is that what Matthew Stafford had in Detroit? I mean,
Matthew Stafford had all the numbers, never got to the playoffs, and some of it, it can go back to the things we can't quite quantify, and the way you feel about the Chargers, as it's just a cursed organization not going to get there. That kind of wasn't that the Lions forever. It still is the Lions.
Yeah, no, it still
haven't done anything yet.
All right, you want to do Red Zone when we come back? All right, no, actually, no, we're going to do Red Zone at 8:30. We're going to do Red Zone at 8:30. We got tickets to give away right now. And so I want you to stand by for that. And then when we come back, I want to continue this conversation because I look at this Matthew Stafford, Phillip Rivers things, and it's fascinating. And it's kind of Dan Marino-esque. And you're going, wait, what, Jeff? Great quarterbacks in organizations that couldn't get to the playoffs. Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, and never went back. All right, I got tickets to give away right now. All in autographs is in on this. So here's the deal. If you're caller number 3 right now, caller 3 at 505-246-0610, you're going to win 2 tickets to go see Lobel women's basketball against Boise State on January 6th. You will also qualify for a chance to win a mystery box from All in Autographs, and you will qualify to have your name drawn on Saturday, live from All in Autographs, to win a mystery box and a gift card, $50 or $100 or $250. The number is 505-246-0610. Call now, 505-246-0610. And caller number 3 will be the winner, courtesy of your good friend DC, here at 95.9 FM and AM 610. The sports animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom! I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Conversation on Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Phillip Rivers. Are they kind of the same quarterback? It's you could have one to start their career right now, right? One guy you could start a team. You got a Phillip Rivers coming out of North Carolina State. Justin Herbert's coming out of Oregon. Phillip Rivers is coming out of
North Carolina State.
They both came out of NC State. I thought they did, and in my mind, I'm like, wait, did I screw that up? They both came out of NC State, right? Phillip Rivers.
Matthew
Stafford came out of Georgia. That's what the other one we were talking about. Yeah. All right. So you can have one right now. They're all starting their career, and you kind of know what they are. You want Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Phillip Rivers, and you can have them for the next 15 years for your franchise. Who you want?
I'm taking Justin Herbert.
I think I probably am, and he's done the least of any of them.
It's a really good point.
But that's why he's Matthew Stafford 2.0. He's done the least of any of them, and this dude has most total touchdowns by a quarterback in his first 2 seasons. First quarterback to record 30 touchdown passes in his first 2 seasons. Most passing yards by a quarterback in his first 3 NFL seasons.
Yep.
Most completions in his first 50 NFL. Like, he's done all of that.
Yep.
And that's what leads me down the Matthew Stafford road. Is he had the numbers, you saw the talent,
really
you
good.
saw the stats, but it was a team that didn't have the postseason success.
Who's the best quarterback that never, I don't want to say won a Super Bowl because it's Dan Marino, right? But who's the best quarterback that never did anything in the playoffs? Like, ever? I mean, am I going back to Archie Manning? Like, when you think of a good quarterback, you never say, well, yeah, I mean, you never give me a really good quarterback who just never could get to the playoffs, right? Kenny Anderson, way back with the Bengals?
And that's the thing with Herbert. That's why I look at the talent,
Tony Romo, sorry,
what he's done. And if you're the Chargers, you cannot be sitting here going, and this dude is 30 and 31 overall.
He is, though.
That has to change, or they're going to rue this day.
Yeah.
Just like the Detroit Lions. Then they're going, wait, we get rid of Matthew Stafford and immediately wins a Super Bowl? Like, what is happening?
And look, I agree with you. I think it's organizational. I think it's the easiest bet is Brandon Staley going to be the coach of the Chargers next year? And the answer is no. Right? Which means he will be, because easy bets in the NFL never come through. Ever. Okay? But he's got to eat a little of it. There's been moments, like there was a game a couple weeks ago where he got the ball with a minute 43 to go, down by 3, and
Packers game.
Yeah, and couldn't get it done. And it's not like he was playing the best defense in the NFL. So he's got to eat a little of it. So you would take, we would all, because the eye test, by the way, he looks aesthetically way more pleasing than Phillip Rivers or Matthew Stafford as a quarterback, doesn't he? Big, tall, fluid. I mean, Matthew
Stafford has that. Like you see Stafford though, and he does still.
He's still
arm talent.
Right, Rivers had a quirky
that
shot
weird
put throw. Yeah, but boy, did he get it done.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like if we're allowed to factor in what we know,
yeah,
I Phillip Rivers.
That's what I'm saying.
I do like the mentality and what the grit from a quarterback, and Phillip Rivers brought that. And Phillip Rivers is one too. It's like you got to also factor in. Like he was in the AFC. In the heyday of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And how many of those playoff losses were to the Patriots? At least a couple of them, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it, too. It's like when you're talking about players like you can't get past Michael Jordan. Yeah. A lot of people couldn't get past Michael Jordan.
And a lot of people couldn't get past Manning and Brady.
Yeah.
No, all that's right. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you the benefit of hindsight. And we know it's 2020, so I'm giving you the benefit of hindsight. You know what Rivers is. You know what Stafford is. You've got a good 4-year sample on Herbert. Who you taking? I think most people are saying Herbert, and he is the guy who's done the least. At least team-wise, done the least. It's fascinating. I've never really thought this way before. And I love the way the show takes us in so many different ways. But I think that's the answer. But that's why, to me, next year for him is so big. And you talk about grit on Rivers. Dude, this kid has grit too now. Remember opening day last year against Kansas City on a Thursday night? He broke his rib and didn't miss a game. Dude played through that broken rib for the next 6 weeks and played well. He plays injured. He's a tough SOB now. And he can do it all. He just hasn't been in a situation where he can win. And he's been on a roster where, look, I get your point now, with Mike Williams down and Austin Eckler not as good. Every talking head I heard scream at me in the offseason told me how talented this damn roster was.
Favorite champions.
I mean, you go through, they have everything. And I sat here and I remember I told you this, and I'm not right a lot, but I said they're the damn Chargers. And I'm not wrong. So what is it? Is it all Brandon Staley? Because I'm just going to tell you, when he's gone next year, this young fella better win. Or at some point, he's going to start catching a little bit.
Okay, and if you want to catch, if you want to give it to Justin Herbert, then I'll take him.
I'd take him too.
Like, exactly. It's like, okay, Justin, you need to be better.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm out here setting every record known to man. Can my safety stay healthy for a season?
Yeah, if he wants to go down the hall and throw to Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, I'm okay with that. Yeah. What were you going to say? You forgot.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
His face went, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I'm starting to think about another team who's going through a similar situation. It's the Bills. Because, I mean, Josh Allen has put up some great numbers.
But I'm going to tell you why he gets a little bit more leeway. Because he beat Patrick Mahomes, except for he didn't. He led a drive and scored with 13 seconds to go on the road, and his defense let Patrick Mahomes go down and beat him. Like he's been to the playoffs, and he's performed well. He didn't win that game, but he performed like he should have won that freaking game. So he gets a little bit more leeway.
I guess what I'm saying more is on the coaching side. are they holding him back at this point?
Well, we're going to find out there next year, too, because I think there's going to be a change there.
At some point.
Don't you think?
Probably not this offseason.
You don't think Sean McDermott, if they don't make the playoffs, there's not a chance Sean McDermott's back?
If they don't make the playoffs, that conversation is very real.
With that team, with those expectations,
yeah, I mean,
that was a Super Bowl favorite, or at least one of the short bets preseason. And if they don't make the playoffs without significant injury, certainly, quarterback stays healthy, Sean McDermott's gone, because they're not getting rid of Josh Allen. Now, they may part way with Stephon Diggs at this point, but I can't see how those two teams with those two expectations, Chargers and Bills, both staring at the Super Bowl, and they both may not make the playoffs, and the freaking Colts and Texans may.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's at the Chargers too. It's Brandon Staley. Like, you have this many one-score losses.
Well, and a lot of them you can point at his decisions.
All right, you got to shake it up.
Yeah, every one-score loss isn't created equally, but so many of his you point at decisions. You're going for it on fourth down at your own 30, late in the game, like that kind of stuff. You just point directly at that. You think, DC, the Bills, if they don't make the playoffs, are going to give Sean McDermott another year?
You make a really strong point with the Super Bowl expectations, and
I'll bet you that lunch that you owe me. I'll double down on it.
And you're saying that if they don't make the playoffs,
and if they do make the playoffs, the bet's void. But if they don't make the playoffs, they're going to make a coaching change.
As you say that, I can't take that bet because I do think they probably will make a change. If they don't make the playoffs, you've sold me on that.
I just don't. I think in watching how coaches fall in the NFL, I don't see it. All right, well, let's do a red zone, and I'm looking through your red zone stuff, and this is going to be really good.
Yeah, that actually comes up.
There's firings on here, and there's backups on here, and remaining schedules, and there's a whole lot of stuff. So we're going to go into the NFL red zone. Great stuff as we come off of the end of the week with the Bengals win over the Jaguars 34-31. Hey, for years I've been telling you about IPS, and they offer standing guards, 24-hour patrols to protect your home or business. You may not know that IPS also installs home alarms, and they've been doing that for years. But they want to remind you that if you don't have an alarm in Albuquerque, you are much more likely to be a victim of break-in. The IPS technology team also installs video cameras to record criminals who vandalize or steal company or home property, and that video will help the police in their investigation. Also, when a bad guy sees surveillance, it discourages criminal activity. IPS will set you up with access control. So the only people authorized to get into your business will be the only people who get into the facility. Sign up to have IPS monitor your alarm and your cameras, and when they see something on the alarm, on the alarm goes off, they're there within 7 minutes or less with trained, armed security personnel. And IPS provides the manpower and the technology to protect you and your family and your property. It's a winning combination. The phone number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420 or online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited, and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
Hi, I'm Michael Ozera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
But most difficult remaining schedules in the league. Further, Jacksonville and Kansas City are on the other end of that list at 27 and 29 remaining strength of schedule. So looking at these remaining schedules, will all 4 of the current division leaders win their respective division? And if not, who falls out and how far do they fall?
The one I'm eyeing is Miami, because the difference here is the Dolphins have already lost to Buffalo. And if Buffalo beats the Dolphins and each you figure handle their business against the remaining team, the Patriots and the Jets, those are division winners. And then so the Dolphins would go just right down to 5 and they'd be the best team because Jacksonville's already beat the Colts twice. So even with the backup quarterback, they're 4-1 in division. I think that's enough cushion for them to finish the year. And I don't see the Ravens or Chiefs slipping up.
So here, the one I'm secure with Miami because they're a 3-game lead, which is really a 2 to your point on the tiebreaker. And Miami's got a schedule. I think Miami holds on.
It's not a 3-game lead in division.
Yeah, right. But they go by record overall.
No. It's if you win your division, you're in.
So what you're telling me is a team that finishes.
Is that right?
No. It's overall record.
So does that?
No. Look,
division winner gets top 4.
Yeah, no. You're saying who wins the AFC East, right? If a team finishes 13-4 and the team below them finishes 12-5, but let's say the Bills are 12-5, even though they can't be.
But they would be the division winner, so they'd get top 4.
Who would be?
The Bills.
The Bills wouldn't be the division winner if they had a worse record.
But if they sweep the Dolphins in division and win the division.
But how are they going to win the division if they have a worse record than the Dolphins? I'm disconnected. Yeah. I'm lost.
Well, because am I just lost in this? The division not count? Because division, that's why
division counts for tiebreakers, but it does. They go by overall.
That's why
record.
The Falcons are in 4th seed in the NFC because they're a division leader.
Right.
And they have a better record.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have a better record, but they're not top 4 because the top 4.
Right, but we're talking about 2 teams in the same division, right?
And my thing is Buffalo can win that division by beating Miami.
But they need Miami to lose another game or 2. Because there's just a 3-game. One team's 9-3, one team's 6-6, right?
But this was about division, and so I guess that's where I'm not understanding it.
I need help. I'm just.
Can you help us, DC?
Let me make sure I'm hearing this right. The question is your overall record within the division. Jeff, you were saying overall record is
overall record. Overall,
that's the first consideration.
The division record.
Right.
This isn't college football where you could have a worse football overall record, but whatever your record is in conference.
So for instance, if you were 6-11, but you were 6-0 in your division,
you don't win your division.
Right. Correct. That is correct.
Oh, that is correct.
Yeah.
So why would we even talk about division?
Well, because the divisions help on the seeding. For instance, the home game, the Dallas right now, Dallas is it's like how they had to go to Tampa Bay last year to play a road playoff game when they had a better record. Here's where I am to answer your question. The one I'm concerned about is Jacksonville because I don't know what their quarterback situation is. Okay. Indianapolis could catch them and win that division. But as far as the number one seed, I still think it's going to be in Miami. The most interesting game left on the schedule for me, well, there's a lot of them. 12/24, Christmas Eve. Cowboys at Miami. The two teams who are beating the hell out of everybody they should beat, but, quote, haven't beat anybody that's worth anything, they're going to run into. Someone's got to give unless they tie. That's the game I'm looking at.
2nd and goal.
All right, still in the AFC, seeds 5 through 11 are made up of 4 7-win teams and 3 6-win teams. Assuming that 3 of these teams do make the playoffs, who's in and who is out? And of these 7 teams, who's the most dangerous?
All right, so we're looking at basically Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Houston, and Indianapolis, right? And the Broncos. So there's 8. 3 of those teams are going to make the playoffs. and I think Indianapolis and Houston are going to make the playoffs, and I think the other one's going to be, Buffalo's got to win some games. I think it's Buffalo, and Buffalo's the most dangerous. That's my last one in.
I agree with that. They have the best quarterback, and I think that will matter in a one-game scenario.
3rd and goal.
So last week, Adam Schefter reported that he had been told that 7 to 10 head coaching positions would be open after the conclusion of the regular season. We've already seen 2 get the boot, so I'm going to ask you guys, over under 4.5 more firings between now and the beginning of the playoffs? Also, will we see anyone go before the end of the regular season?
I don't think there's another coach fired before the end of the regular season.
I agree with that, and I'll take the over. I think the Chargers are making a change. I think the Bears are making a change. I think the Bills are going to make a change if they don't make the playoffs, and maybe even if they do. I think there's going to be a change. I honestly think there's going to be a change in New England. I don't know how they keep doing what they're doing there. Now, he may still continue to coach, and I think there's going to be a change in Washington. So that's 5. That's over right there. Yeah, I think the number's over.
4th and goal.
Did I stutter? Beer me.
All right, of the teams in the AFC playoff picture, 5 of those teams, the Jags, Steelers, Colts, Browns, and Bengals, will start a backup quarterback this weekend. Which one of these backups would you take if you were making a playoff run?
I mean, I'm going to go on total recency. Well, Gardner's good, right? Gardner. As much as I love what Jake Browning did last night, it's Gardner. Gardner Minshew.
Minshew! I think it's Gardner Minshew. I'm going to go Minshew, Joe Flacco, Browning, Trubisky, Beathard.
Gardner Minshew, Brown. I love me some Jake Browning. I always liked him at Washington. I fell in love with what he did last night. I just did. I'm going to keep going back on this, and I'm going to use this term. He looked like a pro quarterback last night.
He did.
He looked so damn impressive to me last night.
And
but it's a one-game sample size, and I've got to caution myself on that. So that's why I'll go with Minshew. But
because he has the best offensive talent.
That's probably right.
I do think that Jamar Chase is the best receiver of any of those teams.
Jaguars have pretty good talent too there.
Jamar, but
yes.
And I think Mixon and Etienne are comparable the season they're having.
I think Etienne's probably better right now.
I'd take Etienne.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Receiver-wise?
Yeah, but you also look at how they're doing things. Last night, you had Jake Browning as quarterback. And the Jaguars couldn't stop him, couldn't slow down Joe Mixon, couldn't slow down the back running back as well last night. And the roller coaster ride of receivers for the Jaguars, Evan Ingram was really good.
Should be. Yeah, he should be.
Last night, he scored his first touchdown of the season.
All right, good. That was good. It made us think a lot. And you can get in on any of that stuff that you just heard. When we come back, I'll get you an update on the Trevor Lawrence injury. I want to look back at last night and a big victory for the Bengals. And I'm going to ask you a question, and I'll answer it for you. Does last night put the Bengals back in the playoff picture? You would sign them off. Does last night put them in the picture? And General Manager Dana Brown of the Houston Astros talks about trading Alex Bregman. What Dana Brown said about trading the former Albuquerque Academy star. That's coming up next on the Sports Animal. Winter's hitting hard. The holidays keep you busy. Not enough time to keep your car clean, right? You don't need the time. My friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing will take care of that for you wherever, whenever it's convenient for you. They come out and they detail my vehicle while I'm busy. I'm at the office, so are you. They come to you. They detail your vehicle inside, outside, under the hood, around the rims. When they're done, it feels like the day you took it off the lot. Remember how fun it was to drive your car then? The best part is they have big sales through the month of December on all their services, from window tinting, paint protection film, ceramic coating, whatever they've got. Check out what they're doing at otsdetailing.com. Stay free from the winter mud and call On the Spot Automotive Detailing today. Their website and all their information, otsdetailing.com. That's otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Rosendo Nahad here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great race, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Website or wherever you get your podcast. You can go to sportsanimalabq.com, click on the opening drive, all this stuff last week, this week, Jerry Kill yesterday, Tim Skipper. You know what was great this week, JJ? Yesterday, Fresno State's interim coach, Tim Skipper, I thought was terrific. He was awesome. He started his coaching career at Western New Mexico. He's bringing the Bulldogs in for the Atlanta New Mexico Bowl. So that's all there for you. All right. And I got a bunch of correspondence that I'm going to get to today. I need to hit this because this is really interesting. Alex Bregman, it's suffice to say, the former Albuquerque Academy star is one of the best players in baseball. I'm not stretching it, right?
Well, he is one of the top players in baseball.
All right. He will be a free agent after this season. Remember, he signed that 5-year, $100 million deal. They signed him earlier when he was on his rookie deal. And so he's one of those names. What are the Astros going to do? And I remember having this conversation, doesn't matter with whom, but I was at the Astros game. I was in Houston at Minute Maid Park. And we were talking about right when Alex signed the deal, and somebody said to me, how the Astros got a bargain. That and I thought at the time they did, but I remember saying, think of it this way. I want you guys, those of us who make regular money, regular common folk jobs. I remember saying at the time, Alex's deal. I said, think of it this way: that $100 million that he just signed for, that's not his big deal. His next one is going to be his big deal. And here we are on the cusp of his next one. What do you think in today's market Alex Bregman is worth in his next contract? I mean, is this like an 8-year, $400,000 or $400 million deal?
Yeah, I think about $400,000.
$400 million?
That should cover it.
Yeah. He's 29 years old. He's in his prime. So what do you do, a 6-year, $380 million deal?
Yeah, 350, 380.
That $100 million that he signed for, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe he was underpaid at $100 million.
Is that the baseball equivalent to junk miles?
I don't know, man. I will never know.
I don't think
I will never know. But I mean, honestly, so what's he worth? I mean, if we sit here and say his next year, I'm going to guess it's going to be in the area of 6 to 7 years, $350 to $380 million.
I mean, that sounds right, but the one factor that plays into this is the Ohtani deal. So if Ohtani goes out and gets $600 million, that's probably going to increase how much Bregman
All right,
gets.
so then he makes $420. I mean, can you imagine? All right, but here's the deal. With whom is it going to be? Dana Brown is the general manager of the Astros, and there's been talk that they're not going to sign Alex Bregman. And well, let me just read it to you. Quote, I think most teams understand that we're not moving Bregman. I don't know where this whole Bregman rush is coming from, but it's certainly not coming from us because we need Bregman. He's a pillar for this club, end quote. Now, he also said there haven't been recent negotiations to extend him. But he said at some point we'll circle back with the agents for these players and get it done. He gets $28.5 million this year. Concludes his 5-year, $100 million deal. We're not moving Bregman. We'll see, man. I've heard every time a guy gets a vote of confidence, what happens? You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm going to get your correspondence. I got a lot of NFL stuff that I got to hit you with. The latest on Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars quarterback went down with the ankle injury. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. Oh, and another high ankle sprain for somebody on your fantasy team. The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site.
JJ Ball. Good conversation today. We've been talking a lot of quarterbacks. I asked you a question earlier. Because JJ, we're talking about Matthew Stafford. We're talking about Justin Herbert. And JJ said Justin Herbert is Matthew Stafford with the Lions. Really good numbers, really good quarterback, bad franchise, bad organization, bad teams can't get to the playoffs. And I thought that was really good. So I asked you the question earlier. Who would you take if I'm giving you the benefit of hindsight. Okay? It's 2020. You know hindsight is 2020. So you can take right now Phillip Rivers out of NC State, Justin Herbert out of Oregon, or Matthew Stafford out of Georgia. They're both coming up. Or all three coming up. Who do you want? And it's been an interesting conversation. Everybody kind of settled on Herbert. The text line says Stafford because of his arm cannon. Okay? It's been interesting as it goes.
I'll tell you, the big reason I go Herbert is he's the smartest of the group. He was going to be a doctor. His degree is in science in the end, but the guy is legitimately smart enough to be a surgeon.
I'm going to tell you, the other guys are pretty good, smart football players.
And I think that's great, and they've won some games and everything, but that's a consideration that I put really high when I'm talking about picking a franchise-type quarterback.
Yeah, I appreciate that. He looks like the quarterback, right? But doesn't always hit it that way. It's been good conversation on that. Latest on Trevor Lawrence, sprained ankle. They're going to do some more tests of MRI stuff today. The Jaguars quarterback went down last night in the Bengals victory over the Jaguars. Jake Browning led the Bengals to a 34-31 win in overtime last night. And now you got another high ankle sprain. Maybe this helps you with Zeke Elliott. What? Ramondre Stevenson, high ankle sprain, going to miss a few weeks. He's the Patriots running back. Now, they don't score any. What was the number you had on the Patriots, by the way?
Oh, let's talk about the New England Patriots.
Right ankle sprain, first quarter. They're 6-0 loss to the Chargers. The Patriots are 2-10. They go against the Steelers. Zeke Elliott will be the starter for the Patriots.
Patriots defense, good. Offense, terrible. New England has lost its last 3 games by scores of 10-6, 10-7, 6-0.
So they've given up 26 points in 3 weeks in their own 3.
That makes the Patriots the first team since the 1938 Chicago Cardinals to lose 3 straight games while allowing 10 or fewer points. NFL teams are 54-0 this season when allowing 10 or fewer points. Not named New England Patriots.
Except for them. That's insanity. That's why I told you, at some point, Bill Belichick has to eat this. And I get it. He's got doesn't he? Isn't he in charge of personnel? At some point, I mean, look, this is a historically bad offense, right?
Yeah. I got another comparison for you.
I like it.
Bill Belichick is Greg Popovich. They let Greg Popovich eat those terrible years in San Antonio.
They did, and so I think that's
Victor
a really.
Wembanyama.
And then he got Victor Wembanyama. So if this guy, if he gets
Drake May,
so look, there's a real chance they let him have a year with him. No, there's a real chance. I mean, he is who he is, and I think it's a great comparison. And I brought that up a couple months ago when people were saying he's done, he's old, and he's got it. No, look, guys like that have earned to go out when they want. I think. Especially with those organizations, as many championships as they brought there. And is it all his fault? No. I mean, he's got a bad roster, but if he's the guy who constructed the roster, then there's got to be a bit of culpability. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Good morning. Hey, today's the 50th anniversary, or actually in 2 days, of something that we've all come to just expect. But, in 1963, December 7th, CBS used instant replay for the first time. There's a very interesting article in the Journal today about the instant replay phenomenon. And what's really funny is in 1977, a 4-man umpiring crew of the Astros-Braves game walks off the field after a controversial play is shown on the scoreboard screen at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And then in 1988, Commissioner Peter Ueberroth says, there will not be instant replay of any sort in baseball. We're just not going to do it.
Well, welcome to 2020, whatever we are now, right?
Yep, 2023, the 50th anniversary of instant replay, and really interesting article. And, that has changed more than anything. That's changed the game, hasn't it?
Well, I think it's certainly changed the way we watch it, and then now that they've incorporated it into the officiating, sure, it's changed the game. I mean, it's changed the game dramatically.
There's plays that if you go back and look, would have changed games if they had instant replay at the time. So
I think it would have changed history. It would have changed careers. I mean, you go back to some of the stuff that you watch, guys, it's such a bang, bang, fast game, and we just took stuff for granted. And I stuff I watch all the time, like back in the day, that would have been, it is. To your point, yeah, it's a totally different game.
Now, that said, I love live sports, and, on the 16th, we have an opportunity to once again showcase our great state, and I hope everybody gets out and supports this game. If you're an Aggie fan and you don't show up for this, maybe you're not an Aggie fan.
They're coming, Rudy.
I'm sure they are. If they're not, then that'll be the biggest miscalculation we ever made as a bowl committee, right, Jeff?
They're coming, Rudy. I know they are.
The thing I worry about is Fresno. I hope some fans show up from Fresno because they have a notorious habit of not traveling well.
Yeah, they'll be all right too. I think we're going to have a heck of a party out there on the 16th. So.
Well, I know this. I'll be there.
Yeah, I know you will. How you feeling? Hopefully, you feel better and you're going to be able to partake. So.
I'm better. I actually I had a beer for the first time in 2 weeks last night. So
I got a few more for you as we go through the next week. So feel better.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, see you.
Yeah.
And by the way, tickets are moving. Like if you're thinking about it, I'm going to suggest you get in. As the partner radio station of the Isleta New Mexico Bowl, the Sports Animal, I suggest you get in and get them now. JJ, this says, great interview with the new player from Spain. You asked terrific questions and it brought out her personality. You didn't let accent or interpretation become any hindrance issue at all. Kudos to you. I'm going to assume this was on the pregame show for Lobel Women's Basketball. Yes, it is. Most of you know JJ is the voice of Lobel Women's Basketball. Ladies were winners over Mississippi Valley State last night in the pit right here on the Sports Animal. And I'll yield to you because I did not hear your conversation.
Oh, it was Nahawa Diarra Berte from Barcelona, Spain. First year Lobo. Great personality. Yeah, she's got an accent, but it does a fantastic job speaking English. And it's, learning what these players do. Like a lot of them in school, regardless.
Right.
Like in Spain, they learn English. And then, especially when they're in athletics, she wanted to play college basketball from a young age. And so that was part of what she focused on, of course, was learning English along with the rest of her studies and being a good basketball player. And here she is playing Division I basketball.
That's really cool.
I got to say, I was listening to a little bit when you were in Cancun. You had some names you had to spit out there. It was very impressive. You did not stumble. I was truly impressed by that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
He's a pro, man.
Yeah, no, it's pro because it was like every single name was, multi-syllables and not of American origin and things like that. It was just one after the other, and he fires them off like it's nothing. It was great.
Hey, by the way, and Steve just hit me and he's right. Like, I appreciate Rudy pointing out the anniversary of Instant Replay. And Rudy's an attorney, but maybe not a math major. 1963 to now would make it 60 years. Thank you, Steve. That's 60, not 50. I mean, as long as he can count his beers or something, I'm good with that. But Steve, thank you, Steve Palmisano over at the Duke store. Thank you for that. That's right. When's your next game, by the way? Lobel Women's Basketball.
Thursday night, Southern Utah in town.
Oh, the defending WAC champions.
WAC.
Yep, and then men's basketball on Wednesday, right?
Yep. Well, UC Santa Barbara tomorrow night for Lobel men.
Good UC Santa Barbara, dude. Don't sleep on those Big West teams, dude. UC Irvine and UC Santa Barbara are ballers. UC Santa Barbara's a tournament team last year. I know it's not the name people love. How come it's not UCLA? Well, UCSB, UC Irvine are pretty decent, and I think they'll give you a pretty good test. Text line, we're talking about Zach Wilson a lot. Zach Wilson has no business in the NFL, not as a backup, not as a third stringer, not as a practice quarterback. He does not belong in the NFL. Look, there's something to that. And if Zach Wilson was picked where Brock Purdy was picked, as opposed to where Zach Wilson was picked, don't you think he'd not be in the NFL? This is the point JJ made earlier, and it's a really solid point. Guys who are picked in the first round continue to get chances because, well, he must be good. He was a first rounder. No matter what your eyes see, no matter what the results continue to tell you. Like, if I asked you right now, pick your team. You are the Denver Broncos. You are the LA Rams. So you've got Russell Wilson. You've got Matthew Stafford. Your backup quarterback moving forward is a number 1 overall pick or number 2 overall pick. You can have Zach Wilson. Or you can have Jake Browning. Who do you want?
This morning, I'm saying Jake
Who did
Browning.
you say yesterday?
I would have said Zach Wilson.
Really? Okay.
I don't know what I would have said yesterday.
All right.
Because I don't think much of Zach Wilson.
Very few people do as a quarterback.
Right. And so I might have out of just said, Zach Browning because, it's opposite. But, man, Zach, number 2 overall pick and you're worried about going back, that is so soft. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's
if
incredibly
in fact
soft.
that is true. Now, Robert Saleh, his head coach, came out and said, nope, Zach wants to play. He's told me he wants to play. I just had a conversation with him. He wants to play. Now, you believe what you got to believe, right? Is it the Athletic, the reporting that's right, or is it the head coach that's right? This head coach has had to come out and defend this young man over and over and over and over again. And here's the deal with Zach Wilson. And I don't know if he's a good guy or if he's not a good guy. I have no idea. I do know that he's been given a boatload of chances. And if, in fact, he's trepidatious, he's cautious, he's anxious, he doesn't want to play, he's got to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I want a quarterback that wants to play. So, that's saying a lot, I know. But it is something. I mean, if you got a guy who's willing to go take the hits and do what it takes and run your practice squad or run with backups or whatever it is, I'll take that 10 times out of 10 over a guy who's not sure if he wants to go on the field.
Is there something to the and this is if this is true, I'd struggle with it. Do you think that young man in his mind just set himself up for, wow, I kind of get a red shirt here. I'm going to get paid. It's all about Aaron Rodgers. I can't lose, dude. He's in. I'm his backup. I'm going to hold a clipboard and wear a baseball cap. Hey, if we go fitted, I'm 7 3/4, and all of a sudden, boom, it went down. Maybe he just didn't prepare all year for, or off season, but he's had plenty of time to change the mindset. I don't know, but do you think there's something to that like I'm going to get a red shirt year and sit, or maybe 2, to sit behind Aaron Rodgers, make money, try to learn, and I'll get my shot in 2 years.
That could have been the case week 1,
but it can't be now.
4
right?
plays in, he was in the game.
Yeah, you're the dude.
A game that they won on Monday Night Football,
which is crazy over the Bills. Yeah. This says I'm not sure what else to ask. Wilson needs to. What else Wilson needs to do to prove he doesn't belong in the NFL? It's hard for me to argue with this texter. And I'm going to tell you, if in fact the Athletic report is true, for me as the Jets, that would be the final straw. I can't do this anymore, dude. I've said this for years, and this goes back to Kaepernick. This goes back to wherever Tebow. And JT and I have always disagreed on this a little bit. The distraction of an NFL. The last thing a team needs is their backup quarterback to be a freaking distraction. That the media is asking you about your backup quarterback all the time, whether it was Tebow, whether it was Kaepernick. I mean, the amount of bandwidth that has been centered on this backup quarterback is sucking way too much oxygen out of the room. And I know you and I disagree on this a bit, the effect of it, but the amount of time it takes to answer questions and discuss your freaking backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the most popular.
Who, by the way, isn't very good.
Right.
But he was your starting quarterback.
He was.
And your QB3 and QB4 were no good, which shouldn't be a surprise.
Right.
And then, so now you're going back to your back quarterback. So he's not really, we can call him a back quarterback, but he's the man in the conversation. It's Tim Boyle, Trevor Siemian, or Zach Wilson.
Do you think Zach Wilson would be any better in a different situation?
He's going to get that opportunity. We're going to find out. I firmly, to JJ's point, we're going to find out. What would be the better situation?
Well, I mean,
Sean McVay's offense, Shanahan offense, like the Sam Darnold thing?
You brought up Purdy, and I thought to myself, what if he was the last pick instead of the second pick? You know, what does that situation look like? And it could be very different.
It could be. You got Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, got a tight end.
He has no line, though. If I had Trent Williams, I'd be feeling a lot better about going on that field.
Jim says he's going to work at Del Vista, Boca, and Hunt. He's going to the old age home in Florida, and he's going to go find women.
Del Boca Vista.
You know it?
Oh, very well. Are you kidding me?
How do you know it so well?
Well, see, I stayed there one time, and I was on this rollout couch, and my back hurt for 2 weeks. And then my girlfriend was taking painkillers and acting all crazy.
That's so funny. All right, 505-246-0610. You can come on in, 888-922-0610. You're sending me a bunch of stuff on baseball salaries. What's Alex Bregman going to be worth? And it's there. When we get back, some of the coaching stuff in college football is starting to play out. UTEP's got a new coach. When will the Lobos? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
The Chili Pepper. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors.
You go extreme to extreme. If one doesn't work, you go the other way. Dana Dimmel was a veteran coach, had been a head coach at other places. Didn't work, you go young 32-year-old offensive assistant. UNM last time through hired a young upcoming coordinator. I got to believe they're going to hire a guy who's a veteran who's had head coaching experience, whether that's Bronco Mendenhall or Rocky Long or whomever it is. Right? But that's where it's coming. Do you guys have, I'm getting asked every day who's going to be the coach. Literally every day I'm getting, having conversations. Do you got a preference? Do you have a way you think it's going to go?
My preference is to find a coach that can bring in a lot of funding.
Okay.
Because we know, maybe, let me ask you this. From what I've read, Eddie's contract goes through 2025. Is that right?
That may be right. I don't know.
So this is a very big hire for him.
Of course it is.
Yes.
No, of course it is.
Right. Absolutely. Everyone is, obviously, but this is especially important. Let me ask you guys this. What's more important, winning right now or getting new facilities right now?
Winning right now.
Probably right. Although I think they're both important. That doesn't downplay
because of the 2-year window you're in with the scheduling agreement with Oregon State and Washington State, and then what happens with the conferences after that.
I think he's right, but I think facilities also play into that conversation as well.
But if you win and then can present a plan,
that you've got a plan, and that's why I think they're both important. I know that they're going to go to legislature in January and ask for $150 million to improve that stadium. And I know some of you are going to scream, "Don't put another penny into that dump." I've got the email 50,000 times. And if your answer is just keep doing what we do, or if you think they're going to build a brand new one, building a brand new one, I guess would be ideal. I don't know what you're going to do in the interim, by the way. Where would they play? Like if Lobo football ripped down that stadium, and it took 2 years to build one, where I don't even know where they would play. I don't like honestly, what would you do? Would you move into Isotopes Park for a couple of years? Could you play football there?
That would probably actually be your first option.
I mean, I know we've talked about playing in Isotopes Park a couple of times over the last 18 years. I guess that would be the option, right?
Yes.
The locker rooms are, I mean, you got huge locker rooms. And you got, well, anyway, you got, that's not what's going to happen. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
So you think it, well, if it's not going to happen, I guess it doesn't matter. But if they were to do something to the stadium, you think they would?
No, they're going to do something to the stadium. They're just not going to ground the whole thing and put it out of commission for 2 years and rebuild a brand new stadium. What I think is going to happen, if they get the funding, is there's going to be massive upgrades to a. Somebody said Wilson Stadium, 5,000. It holds 5,000. It's perfect. See what they did there. I think that it's going to be renovations. I don't think it's going to be a complete, like when you weren't here when they redid Isotopes Park, the old sports stadium. They said they're going to renovate it. Well, they knocked that whole thing to the ground. The only thing that was left was home plate and that big cement baseball out in front on the corner. Like they leveled that whole thing and redid it. The concourses, the locker rooms, everything. They left the baseball field in the same place. But everything, remember that renovation was a complete redo. But that's a great question. What's more important? And to me, the answer is both. I don't care who the coach is the text line, but if we could get some consistent W's, that would be great. Yeah, I think that's what everybody's going for. Mud asks, where can I rent a Fresno State jersey for the 16th? Also, will they be putting pee pads on the sideline for Pavia? Just kidding. Jefferson, don't want to hurt your feelers. Not hurting my feelings.
Did he just ask to rent a jersey?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a first.
Yeah.
That is where I saw it. I think it was an NHL stadium. Like a fan actually started a jersey renting business.
Is that right?
Yes.
I might have a Fresno State
He rents jerseys out to people that just want to go to the game. You don't want to buy a jersey and have it like, hey, you want to go to the game? Here's a bunch of sweaters.
Is that right?
$20, have it for the game.
Kind of like that.
That's innovative. I'd like that too. I mean, a hockey sweater is like $300. So,
by the way,
that's interesting.
I'm not a jersey guy. Never have been, and I have nothing against people who are. It's just never been my thing. I've got a few. I don't wear. Like I've never been one to wear someone else's name on my back. That's always been. But whatever. I have nothing against people who are. I've got a Jack Youngblood Rams jersey. I've got like a Bob Gibson Cardinals jersey that I got at one of our things. I've got a Dodgers jersey signed by Matt Kemp, and I got a Colt 45s jersey, Houston Colts 45. And then I've got the one I used to wear was an old New Mexico Scorpions sweater. JJ, it had my name on the back, and that's why I used to kind of wear it. Remember the yellow Scorpions jerseys that you used to wear? Their alternative jerseys. They were they were yellow with black, and it just had that Scorpion script across the front. I'll show it to you. Addie wore it for Halloween. I'll show it to you. It was really cool. But I got nothing against those who do. This text line, Rudy, the reason they had instant replay in 1963 was TV was in black and white. Jeff, should Tiger retire? 23 strokes from winning. How much do you guys pay Rudy to promote the New Mexico Bowl? Don't pay Rudy anything. He actually just really believes in it. I don't believe Tiger should retire, even though he was 23 strokes from winning in his first tournament back. And I get it on the instant replay. It was time. Do you think Tiger should retire?
No. You just have to be realistic. People don't want to be realistic. You say Tiger Woods, you're like, well, if Tiger Woods can't win a major, he's going to be playing golf.
Yeah, go as long as you can. All right, we got to take this break. If you're there, I want to hear from you. 505-246-0610. Area code 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. What should they do? The stadium? You want a full rebuild? Where are you? A 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're home for Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night football.
Telling you. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but No more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
So, what's more important right away for a football coach at UNM? Winning right away or getting the facility? Well, for the coach, it's winning right away. For you as a program, which one? This one says, OMG, no to 73-year-old Rocky Long, so stop. He was just here with Danny Gonzalez and was a disaster. We need energetic, fresh blood here. I'm just telling you who they're talking to, man.
He wasn't a disaster.
What are you mad at me for?
I was the defense the first 3 seasons with Rocky Long.
Yeah, what are you mad at me for? If he's interested in the job and they're talking to him, what are you mad at me for?
Putting it out there, Jeff.
I'm just telling you what's going on.
You're speaking it into existence.
Yeah, that's right. Because I got that much power. 505-246-0610. Dr. Jim, good day, sir. How you living?
Oh, so far so good.
Attaboy,
we'll see. Right? I think it's funny that people talk about, I think with these coaching names you've mentioned, like, they're all fine. Like, to a certain degree, the coach selection is at the margins, right? Like, you need resources, NIL dollars, and players, right? And so, hopefully that discussion, I'm sure it is happening concurrently, right?
I think that's right. I think that's part of each coach's plan when they say, hey, here's what I'm going to do and here's how I'm going to handle NIL.
Yeah, what worries me a little bit about the UTEP hire is that I think it's a good hire. Dude from Sul Ross State played there, which is, you know where that is, in the backyard. But, they hired a young dude who probably didn't demand or require an NIL investment, right, or a formal approach, and they don't have that yet down there. And so I worry about that. But what I'm really excited about is the fact that between you and Tony the Tiger, you're going to have about 80,000 people in bowl seats between the Sun Bowl and the New Mexico Bowl.
Well, I'll tell you what, they're going to kill it with Notre Dame.
That's pretty crazy. People talk about football, and it's real, dude. Like either everybody loves Frosted Flakes down there, or they like football, right? It's sold out in a day. You're going to have, I don't know, a big number, probably your biggest number ever, right at the New Mexico Bowl. And they're local brands, right? So, I don't know, man. All this New Mexico Bowl hate is dumb. We like to hate on stuff that's our own here, and then complain that we don't have anything that's our own. That's a tale as old as time, right? But at the end of the day, in the Rio Grande Valley, you're going to have two of the most well-attended non-CFP bowls in the bowl season. And so it can happen here, man.
It can happen. I promise. It's good to hear you. It always is.
That's all I got. All right. Bye, guys.
Bernie, I was talking to Bernie Olivas, the guy who runs the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, last week. And he's like, I don't know what I'm getting. We're trying to get Miami, but we may get Boston College, and we might get, I think Duke was in the running. And then the selections came out, and they were the last ones to drop. And I'm like, holy smokes, he got Notre Dame, Oregon State. And I reached out, and he said, I don't know how it happened, man, but I'll take it. And they do it's such a great job. Have you ever been down to the Sun Bowl?
I have not been to the Sun Bowl.
Maybe we take a little roadie for that one, if I'm in town. They do such a good job. That town loves that game. And look, it's 80, maybe 85 years old, 85 years old. It's been such a tradition.
Well, that is the perfect example.
Well, it's the model.
What can happen.
Yeah.
It's just El Paso. It's just the Sun Bowl. And look what they built.
Yeah. Lynn says attendance is the most important. Jeff, I know you like to bury your head in the sand over attendance. But there was 12,000 announced, probably closer to 5,000 in the stands. And that number had dwindled to 500 by overtime. You can't go on like that. This is a bad look on TV and makes Nunez look bad at his cocktail parties. They need to hire someone that can put butts in the existing University Stadium seats. It's from Lynn. I'm not burying my head in the sand. I understand it as a metric. My point on the attendance is it is a metric, and a very important one, not the only metric, by which to judge success. And by that metric, it was not a success. I acknowledge that 100%.
It starts with the product.
Well,
because they did hire a dude to do that.
Yeah.
And guess what? He didn't get to do it in his first season because of COVID. And then they only won 2 games in Las Vegas, and then all y'all didn't show up here too.
So no, Lynn, I'm not arguing with you. And actually, I agree with you to a large extent.
But none of you are showing up.
That's where I'm going with this.
Just because they hired person X.
So your last sentence, they need to hire someone that can put butts in the existing University Stadium seats. Okay, who is that? What is that hire?
Was that not Danny Gonzalez with Rocky Long?
I mean, it feels,
and where were you that second year?
It feels that way, and evidently it wasn't. So who is that?
Well, the main focus to me is just you have to have a compelling product to sell.
Well, of course.
And that just comes down to it.
And so does that mean you got to bring in Les Miles? Will that do it for you? Jimbo Fisher? Will that do it for you? If Jimbo Fisher comes in and loses, you're not going anywhere. So, Lynn, I don't bury my head in the sand over attendance. I think it's very important, and I agree with you. It's a bad look for the program, and that's what JJ and I have been saying for a long time. As you go into these next 2 years, which I hope it's not, but potentially could be a trial for who survives and gets into that pack after this 2 years, 1 year, maybe 2 year scheduling agreement. Yeah, attendance is going to be an issue. The product on the field is going to be the number one issue. facilities and support is going to be another issue.
And we could see the blueprint this season. Unfortunately, because once they lost that game to New Mexico State, Lynn's of the world, everyone else wasn't going to give them a chance to come back. Because you look at what they did, and they lost to Mexico State. They only beat UMass in overtime, but then they had a compelling game against Wyoming. So you're coming back against San Jose State. It's early in the season, and you still have a shot. Early at Mountain West play, and you only get 13,000 people.
Was that the San Jose State game?
San Jose State game.
Yeah. Marty, you're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Marty.
I like that. I like that example, JJ, because I thought that was a critical game, right? And I think I had called and said that was Danny's most important game up to that point in his career as a Lobo coach. And what I saw is this, from a fan perspective, is a huge disconnect, right, with the community and Lobo football. I'll give you some examples. You go to any bar, in any other city, they're probably watching their college.
The home team's on.
But in Albuquerque, that's not to be the case. They're rooting for Ohio State, or they're rooting for, so there's a huge disconnect. So it's got to start there. But it goes back to what Jay just said, is the product, right? If you don't have the product, then that disconnect is going to continue to exist, regardless of who's there. You can have Lord Jesus Christ as the coach, and he may not be able to get it done. And I don't mean that as a shot to religion or anything like that. I'm just saying that that's how bad it can be. But there is a huge disconnect with the community and Lobo football, and it's got to. That's the piece right there. That's the big puzzle right there.
Yeah, I think that's interesting, and it's a good point, Marty. Thanks for the call.
That's an interesting point too. Is with everything that's going on, but you have your partners. You have your giveaways at certain establishments. You have this is your pregame headquarters. So how do you get in front of that? Because not every game is on TV. So how do you get to those establishments and be like, hey, this is a Mountain West network stream game. Is there any way you can put it on a couple of your TVs? Right. Can we set something up for you? That's extra effort. Get things like that done.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right, 505-246-0610. I'll wrap it up. Everything you need to know as you go through your day. When we come back, you still have time for your correspondence, and happy to get that done for you. Because there was a great conversation again today. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal, your home for Sunday night and Monday night and Thursday night football.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This is was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. You're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Big proposal, NIL-wise, for college sports. NCAA president, you know who the president is now that Emirates stepped down? Do you know what his name is? Charlie Baker's his name. NCAA president Charlie Baker proposed a rule change this morning. It would allow Division I schools to pay athletes in ways that are not tied to educational resources for the first time. You're going, wait, Jeff, they already get NIL money. No, currently it's got to be outside of the schools. This would be for schools to pay. I don't know if this is good or not, but he shared the proposed changes in a letter sent to member schools. So if Division I schools choose to adopt these rules, they would be allowed, the schools themselves, allowed to enter into NIL deals directly with athletes, as opposed to these outside collectives. The rich will get richer, boys and girls. The new rules would also create a trust fund for athletes at the richest tier of athletic departments and allow schools to create its own set of rules for recruiting, transfers, and roster size. Quote from Baker, "It is time for us, the NCAA, to offer our own forward-looking framework. This framework must sustain the best elements of the student-athlete experience for all student-athletes, build on the financial aid and organizational investments that have positively changed the trajectory of women's sports, and enhance the athletic and academic experience for student-athletes who attend the highest resourced colleges and universities, end quote. Doesn't talk about the non-highest resourced. It doesn't talk about what you're going to pay your quarterback as opposed to what you're going to pay your tennis player or your women's point guard. And it doesn't talk about, I don't see if this would also then be in addition to outside NIL money, right? So the school's paying you all, you're all getting $50,000 to play here. Do they still get outside money?
They could probably just pour whatever resources they wanted to into that.
With no limit.
With no limit. And part of it, too, and Nicole Auerbach, college sports
Athletic.
reporter for The Athletic, did point out, too, that part of this proposal is, they touched on it would be creating a whole new subdivision of football. So, like, it would be
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Next year, hopefully, with it expanding to 12, we won't have that discussion. But who knows? We'll probably find something to debate about.
We'll argue over 12 and 13.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But and I think maybe just I don't know if some of that can be taken care of in the scheduling. So I don't know if colleges are going to have to just really be strategic on how they schedule to kind of help their cause as we get to that point. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, man. Good to hear you.
Yeah.
I'm the Florida State argument yesterday, and I'm still going to be on the other side of it. I understand where they went. I don't like it. I understand it. I agree with some of the points, and it was a tough situation. This is really the first time in a long time that we've had this situation where it hadn't been cut and dry. It works out almost every year. This is the last year of this model, and so we're going to go a different direction. Maybe we go drastically different after this, but I look at it in I got a problem making decisions on what we think would happen. And I think that's how this went
exactly
down.
what they did.
They don't think that Florida State would be competitive. And they might be right, but we don't know. Florida State's defense, I think, would make them competitive. I do. Now, do I think they would win the championship? I don't. And you can tell me any four of these teams might win a championship. And so I understand how we got here. I have a problem deciding who gets to play for a championship because a group of people decided what they think would happen without allowing it to happen.
We've seen blowouts happen in the semifinals with teams that have their starting quarterback.
Regularly. Last year was the first time we had 2 good semifinal games. And by the way, the team that got blown out, the team we're using as this example, well, we don't want them to beat TCU. They freaking beat Michigan in the semifinal and then got blown out in the final. Nobody liked the way that final ended. Nobody needs to watch 65-7. Can we not remember that they earned their way there by beating Michigan in the semi? We don't want that to happen. What would Michigan have got beat by? Yeah, that's where my issue with that is. I understand all the conversation and all that. Well, they're not one of the. I don't know, man. I got a team that went 13-0, continue to win without their starting quarterback. That to me says they're a pretty freaking good team, but yet we don't think they would be competitive even though they're 13-0 and won a conference championship. That's my issue.
I got to tell you, I've been reading a little more into that proposal. That is ground shaking stuff, man. That changes college sports completely.
Well, if it goes through, it is drastic.
There's still going to be a lot of legalese that goes on. And
sure, but
back and forth.
The big part.
You just read through that?
Yes, and part of it is that you need to guarantee $30,000 a year to half of all of your scholarship students.
To half of your scholarship students?
Yeah, they're estimating approximately $6 million a year just to opt in
per institution.
Yep, that is insane.
Yep. All right, that's going to be a topic, big topic moving forward. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a UNM coach tomorrow, too. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On will be here at 4. We're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work on the visuals. DC, terrific job. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We will smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Sunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!